you go.
I got a match.
Do you have any spiders? Here you go.
I got a match.
Do you have any haunted houses? Here you go.
That's a match.
Do you have any witches? Here you go.
That's a match.
Do you have any zombies?
I win.
Good show! You beat me!
Have you ever seen anything strange outside?
Once I saw my Uncle Roger's toupee fly off during a windstorm. Talk about freaky.
I mean, have you seen a strange animal outside?
No, but I have heard weird noises like this. Howling. But not like a dog howling, more like something human. I don't want to think about that. It's scary enough having to live in this gloomy place.
Do you think there's a treasure hidden around here?
I highly doubt it. I mean, if there were, wouldn't someone have already found it? When I asked Ethel about it, she said that it's the Penvillain name and heritage that should be treasured. Ugh.
The lady in black you saw in Linda's room, did she look like anyone you know?
Like I said before, I couldn't really see her face, but she was kind of dressed like the lady in the Great Hall.
Which lady?
Eleanor. I know it sounds weird, that's why I didn't want to tell anyone. It's too creepy. Sometimes I wonder if I just dreamed it all up. Mrs. Drake is always saying I have a rampant imagination.
I should get going.
Come back soon.
Looks like you're learning some interesting stuff.
Bet you wouldn't say that if you were the one who had to learn it. Nigel gave that to me when I was in the library once. I think he was hoping it would scare me, but it didn't. I'm too smart to believe in that sort of stuff.
What is this book?
Don't know, really. Ethel gave it to me. She said it belonged to my grandfather. Do you think Brady Armstrong is cute?
Each of those cups seems to be associated with a Roman numeral.
That was written by Charles Penvillain way back in like the 1500s. When I read it, it seemed really familiar, you know?
Oh, you startled me. You must be Nancy. I'm Jane's tutor, Ethel.
How do you do?
Jane is very excited you're visiting. You're all she's talked about for the past week.
Wow, I feel so embarrassed. I didn't think I'd have a fan club all the way over here.
Yes, well. I'm sorry, but I'm in a bit of a rush. I need to go over some things with Jane.
Oh, I guess I'll be going then.
It was a pleasure meeting you, Nancy. Our paths will cross again, I'm sure.
Yes?
The picture book in Jane's room. Do you know much about its history?
My brother Alan found it somewhere in the house. He was quite fascinated by it, but he'd never let me look at it.
I spoke with Mr. Tucker at the Boar's Head pub, but frankly, I'm not at all sure what he said.
Yes, his language is quite colourful, isn't it? He's Cockney, you see. My brother Alan and I loved to make up Cockney rhymes when we were young. We'd drive our governess quite batty. Haven't got a pot of glue, haven't got a pot of glue. Ha! How we teased her.
Pot of glue?
A clue, dear. Haven't got a clue. Rhymes with glue, you see.
What was your brother Alan like?
He was quite remarkable. He taught linguistics and computer science and won many prestigious awards. He loved games, especially pranks, and was forever tinkering with this and that. I do miss him sometimes, but now he's gone. He died a month after my husband passed away, and ever since I've been here all alone, until Hugh came back from the United States, that is.
Can you tell me about Lulu?
Lulu is a very old parrot. She must be over 80 years old. Please be very careful with her, especially if you feed her. Parrots have quite delicate constitutions, you know.
Goodbye.
The pleasure is all mine, child.
Do you have allergies, Mrs. Drake?
Oh, yes. Hay fever. Although I'm not at all sure what's worse, my allergies or that medication. It makes me feel as if I'm about to float right out of my shoes.
I'm sorry to bother you again, but Jane told me about the lady in black.
What lady in black? Jane never said anything to me about a lady in black. That kid is so weird. I just don't get her.
She seems very concerned about you.
Yes, I know. I just don't know how to be a stepmother to her. She's just so strange. Look, just forget about me. You can't help me, and that's that. I'm sorry.
Linda, you have to give me a chance. Everyone is so worried about you. If you just tell me what's happened, maybe I could help. Linda? I made a promise to your mother, and I plan to keep it. I'm here for you when you need me. Linda? I'll be going now. That must be the food I ordered. Ah, loop-de-loop, otherwise known as soup. This smells delicious. I can use my Johnny Rudder to grease up that lock outside Jane's room. Wonder what this is. This lens is supposed to go into a telescope that sits on a tripod. Wonder what goes there.
Head, this is Tommy.
Hi, this is Nancy Drew. I'd like to order some food.
Sure, we've got some loop-de-loop bangers and mash, pinky and perky in a dog's eye, and they're all Robin Hood.
Bangers and mash.
Rightio. Uncle Fred and Johnny Rudder?
No, I'll be eating alone, thank you.
All right then, we'll come round and leave it at your Rory. Baked potato. Hugh Penvillin here.
Hello, Mr. Penvillin. This is Nancy Drew. I'm the one who's visiting Linda. You know, from the United States, across the pond.
Yes, of course. Are you at Blackmoor?
Yes, I am, and I've talked to Linda.
Good for you, because frankly, that's something I've been quite unable to do lately. These temper tantrums of hers make rational discourse well nigh impossible.
She gets angry for no reason?
Absolutely none. We'll be talking on the phone about the weather or Jane's lessons or something equally innocuous, and suddenly she'll be bellowing at me and slamming the phone down.
Are you sure you didn't inadvertently say something, you know, argumentative?
I promise you, these rages of hers are totally uncalled for and quite unbearable. I love her dearly, but she's making things very difficult.
I understand that Mrs. Drake is your aunt?
Yes, Aunt Letitia. We're not very close, however. She's always been rather aloof, much more interested in being a Penvillin than a person, if you know what I mean.
Does Linda get along with her?
As far as I know, yes, although I have caught my aunt eyeing Linda strangely at times. And of course there's the 6-month habitation clause.
The what?
According to the Penvillin rules of inheritance, the spouse of Blackmoor Manor's current owner, that would be Linda since I'm the current owner, the spouse of the current owner must reside in the manor for at least 6 months. Should she or he leave the manor before 6 months is up, ownership of one half of the estate immediately passes to the next legal heir.
And that would be Mrs. Drake.
Correct.
I met your daughter Jane.
Quite the bundle of energy, isn't she?
I get the feeling that she's a little lonely.
I'm sure she is, what with a private tutor instead of school and Linda being under the weather. And coming back to Blackmoor no doubt reminds her of her real mother. Renee and I were divorced almost 2 years ago. Jane went into a bit of a tailspin for a while, but she's come to adore Linda. She's been calling her Mummy since the day we were married.
It was nice talking to you.
This is an extremely busy time for me, so I apologize in advance if you call and I'm unavailable.
I understand.
Good. Cheerio.
This'll loosen things up in there. Linda? I'll be going now. That must be the food I ordered. Bangers and mash, huh? Looks like sausages to me. I'm hungrier than I thought. I'm stuffed.
Boar's Head, this is Tommy.
Hi, this is Nancy Drew. I'd like to order some food.
Sure, we've got some loop-de-loop bangers and mash, pinky and perky in a dog's eye, and they're all Robin Hood.
I'd like some pinky and perky, please.
Good choice. Uncle Fred and Johnny Rudder?
Okay.
All right then, we'll come round and leave it at your Rory. Baked potato.
Hi, Nancy.
Jane, did there used to be a telescope in my room?
Mm-hmm. I took it outside to look at the stars. But if you want it back, you'll have to play a game with me.
I knew you were going to say that. Okay, what's the game?
Let's see how quick your reflexes are. I'll time you. If you get the puzzle done in time, I'll return the telescope. If not, then you'll have to try again. On your mark, get set, go! Five minutes. Four minutes. Three minutes.
There.
You won. Good show. I'll put the telescope back in your room first chance I get.
I should get going.
Ta-ta.
Linda? I'll be going now. That must be the food I ordered. looks like Pinky and Perky is turkey. I knew that. Tommy's cooking is beginning to grow on me. That was really good. What was that? Who is that? I wonder if these are what made those red eyes I saw outside the night I arrived. That's probably not a good idea. What is that?